After the closing bell Wednesday, Facebook posted earnings that beat analysts' estimates. The social network said it earned $4.7 billion in the third quarter, and revenue rose to $10.3 billion. The company also reported daily active users rose to nearly 1.4 billion. The company's general counsel, Colin Stretch, appeared on Capitol Hill for the second day to discuss how Russian trolls used the platform during the 2016 election.
In our investigation, which continues to this day, we have found that these actors used fake accounts to place ads on Facebook and Instagram that reached millions of Americans over a 2-year period, and that those ads were used to promote pages, which in turn posted more content. People shared these posts, spreading them still further. Many of these ads and posts are inflammatory, some are downright offensive. Going forward, we are making significant investments. We're hiring more ad reviewers, doubling or more our security engineering efforts, putting in place tighter ad content restrictions, launching new tools to improve ad transparency, and requiring documentation from political ad buyers. We're building artificial intelligence to help locate more banned content and bad actors. We're working more closely with industry to share information on how to identify and prevent threats so that we can all respond faster and more effectively. And we're expanding our efforts to work more closely with law enforcement.
David Nelson is chief strategist at Bell Point Asset Management, and he joins me now. All right, so David, we just heard the list of things that Facebook says it's going to do to try to prevent future election meddling. How concerned are investors about that?
I think investors would be concerned with that. Frankly, the numbers were such a blowout that, given without some of the rhetoric that we got from Mark Zuckerberg in the statement and in the release, the stock probably would have been up 10, 15 points. It was really that good. So when I hear a statement like this, and I actually wrote it down, protecting our community is more important than maximizing our profits. That's not a CEO talking. That's a political animal talking, and that's somebody who's looking to run for something at some point in the future. It's been talked about. I think he's kind of making that clear. But I think we've got to be very careful here with some of the solutions that have been talked about.
Yeah.
It's a very slippery slope that you walk down when you start talking about censorship. And I don't care how much AI, artificial intelligence you use, without the help of people, you're probably not going to be able to do that. And then it begs the next question is if you have, a bunch, say maybe thousands of people reading the news coming across your Facebook page, what about their biases? Do I really want a 25-year-old in Silicon Valley deciding what's right for my news page? So pretty important stuff and decisions we're going to have to make in the coming years.
Right. It's the difference between a Facebook and a news organization, which is a very different sort of set of standards. Let's talk about this. The Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged on Wednesday, leaving open the possibility of a December rate hike. Now, President Trump is expected to choose the next Federal Reserve chair on Thursday. So how much of an impact will that have on the market?
Well, I feel like the name's been leaked. It seems the odds-on favorite right now is Jerome Powell. That's likely a push. I think that's kind of an extension of Janet Yellen's policy. He's pretty much a consensus guy. He's voted along with the Fed decisions, every decision since 2012. I think the problematic choice would have been Taylor. That might have riled the markets. He's got a quantitative rules-based approach. We'd be looking at probably higher interest much quicker.
So a safe choice then for
He's
Jerome
certainly
Powell.
the safe choice, I think. Investors will respond well to that.
So meantime, House Republicans have delayed their rollout of their tax plan until Thursday, and you've written that U.S. markets are pricing in some measure of tax reform. So what will Wall Street be looking for in this plan?
Unknown, because we really don't know what this thing is going to look like, and you can see why tax reform is so difficult and why we haven't really accomplished it in 30 years. There's an army of lobbyists, like locusts on Washington right now, each defending some kind of loophole. So for all these congressmen and senators to coalesce around a single plan, it's pretty difficult at this point. I guess if I had to point to the most important thing to get done, get the 20% tax rating on the corporate rate, make us more competitive on a worldwide stage. That's my hope. We'll see how it pans out.
You really think that'll help boost the economy, getting it down to 20%?
Yeah, I do. Even Tim Cook was on air this week. He's certainly a liberal and certainly a Democrat, has made that quite clear. He points to we have a couple of $1 trillion sitting offshore that's never coming home.
Right.
And I've heard the argument on the other side that the marginal rate for corporate taxes here is comparable to other countries. It really isn't when you bring in the fact that nearly 4,000 to 5,000 companies have actually left the United States for a lower tax status. So let's get at least this much done.
Yeah, a lot of questions. How will you pay for it, though?
And that's what they're trying to figure out. And if you take away something from somebody here, then these people over here complain. Pretty difficult job.
Very difficult.
Pretty rough. I'm glad I'm not in the mix on this thing.
Me too. David Nelson, thank you so much, David.